This is the law I love, the law of vibration. Do you know the law of vibration decrees that everything moves, nothing rests? We literally live in an ocean of motion. Do you know this hand of mine, it looks still? It's not still. This thing is vibrating so fast it appears to be still. Do you know there's a ray of energy coming from the physical body? This body is vibrating so fast, it glows. You can actually photograph the energy around the body. If you went into a completely dark room in front of an infrared television camera, you'd see your whole being as a glistening, radiating, gleaming form. Start to pay attention to how you feel. Do you know when you say, I feel this way or feel that way, do you know what you're saying? I'm consciously aware of the vibration I'm in. And when you don't feel good, you're in a bad vibration. When you do feel good, you're in a good vibration. Do you know that your brain is an electronic switching station? And when you think, you activate the positive pole in your brain and you move your whole being into a positive vibration. I'm going to ask you to take 5 minutes and I want you to think of all the things that are really going good in your life. Forget the others. Just focus on the ones that are going good and then say, I'm going to improve them. Don't try and change what's wrong into what's right. Take what's right and make it better. And I guarantee you, if you make a list, carry it around with you today, and say, I'm going to stay in a good vibration all day. And if anybody asks you how you are, say, I am wonderful. I'm actually full of wonder. Stay in a good vibration.
The Lost Gospel of Thomas, it literally says, when these two become one, when thought and emotion become one, then you'll say to the mountain, move, and the mountain will move. And I used to think that that was a metaphor. And I now have seen enough to know that moving a cancerous tumor inside the body of a living woman, that's moving a mountain to me. And it's all done from marrying thought and emotion together.
Many people have said that it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond. Bashar says that your attitude, or actually circumstances don't matter, only your state of being matters. One of my mentors told me that your attitude towards life determines what life reflects back to you. Now, this is the truth of the ages. So let's show you how it works and what it means. So you can see the infinity sign. You, in your spiritual perfection, at the right hand of the Father, as Jesus, okay, before you took the fall of man, are a no-limit expression of God's infinite prosperity. Prosperity is all good things. So here you are. Now you take that infinite self and you flow through a state changes. The laws of electricity apply to this. Electricity is the perfect analogy of how human beings operate through the physical realm that's not even physical at all. So what you see here, Jesus taught the Beatitudes. Be, your attitude, your being. That's what matters. So you flow through states. Okay? There are infinite numbers of states. What they are is their knowledge capacity combined with emotional resonance equals your state of being. That's what creates your hologram. That's what shows up in your life. So whoever shows up in your life comes into your life as a result of your state, because it's your hologram. You put them there. They match your state of being. The world is your mirror reflection of yourself. The world is a reflection of your attitude towards life. Get this. This is important. You've never been a victim for one moment. So the whole Bible is man. It's the story of man in the now space. There is no past. Anybody who preaches about a past is speaking in ignorance. The Bible is cipher about God's man, God's manifest, moving through states, attitude changes towards life, okay? From Abraham to David. See, your journey here from the fall of man is to enter the world of the dead, the fiction, the dead carcass that's outside of you. The world outside of you is known as the winter in the ancient texts. You enter the dead and you rise as Jesus. Okay? You are an equal to Jesus. Now, the only venue that ever exists is the now space. It's the only fact of life. Everything else is fiction. So, the only venue with the facts is this moment, the present. God is omnipresent. God is not omnipast or omnifuture. Those are constructs of the mind where you got captured in time. So to change your state, or your ATL, your attitude towards life, is to move dimensions. It's to move into parallel universes. My Father has many mansions in his house. So my story was very simple. I began in 2008 getting sick, became a victim, My attitude towards life was that of a victim, a mortal, in human flesh. That's what the book of Romans is about. When you identify as a human flesh being, you are subject to the laws of sin and death. Romans 8:10 is my life scripture. I had a divine prophetic word where God spoke to me in a dream. God said, your word is Romans 8:10. The Bible opened up and I saw the scripture, and I had never read the Bible before up to that point. So I opened it up the next morning and I read the scripture, and I freaked out because it said, if Christ is in you, then the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness. And I thought I was going to die because it said the body is dead because of sin. But today, I understand the only true body that you've ever had, that I ever have, is the spiritual body in our imagination. God's imagination, his image, is where your likeness is. So your likeness with God is your imagination, and the unlikeness of God is anything that's material, flesh, and mortal. God never existed in a corrupted position. So the world of corruption is the fall of man. It is the Babylonian debt slave system. When you make joinder with it through fear, you contract with it through fear, doubt, confusion, lack of trust, double-mindedness, and division. Okay, that's how you contract with that world. So when you make contract with that world, then you exist in a state of being a mortal. That's a victim state of consciousness. So here's what I ended up doing, and this is why you're here on the earth. You're here on the earth to repent to the Father because you have doubted in your heart. So you're here to repent, to move back, to become as Jesus at the right hand of the Father, risen in spirit. Okay? So my journey in 2008, there's me. I had the ER, over 36 visits. By the time I was 2012, I had Lyme disease. I was very sick, and I went through a bankruptcy. That was the mortal story that I had. Okay, so what happens is then wisdom came, and wisdom comes in order to give you insight so that you can repent, so that you can move and become risen before your carnal meat sack body dies. See, if you don't rise before the body dies, you don't rise at all. You must rise while you are in this consciousness of having a meat suit. You must become one with the Christ again. So the power state that I entered was when I became one with spirit. See, Romans 8, if the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness, it means that there were two jurisdictions. If I believe in the power of the physical world, if I believe in anything outside of myself, including anything that I hear, smell, see, taste, and touch with my five senses, if I believe any of the reports of those things, I am under the law of sin and death in Romans 8. Now, when I let God's word be true, regardless of what my lying and deceitful five senses and my lying eyes tell me, now I am in the domain of God's imagination where I cast the world off from me. And you can watch my video at MatthewDavidHurtado.com. My series, idisrupt.world, will give you the kingdom. I will walk you into your power state. So I entered my power state through wisdom. And within a couple of short years, I had a 7-figure income. And it took me 6 years to battle this thing completely, but perfect health. So today I train at age 42 like a professional athlete, and I live in well-being. And money flows freely and easily to me now. And it has since I made this change of state. And I understood wisdom. You want these wisdom keys? I have them at my website. So here, let me show you something. Step 1 is you must have wisdom. That's your knowledge capacity. See, the knowledge capacity combined with the emotional resonance makes a contract claim, and that draws in matter. The heart draws in matter. Out of the heart come the issues of life. And what you focus on expands. So these are the two things that are going to play out in your life. That's your attitude towards life. The formula is simple. Your knowledge capacity plus your emotional resonance equals your attitude towards life. And sometimes you need a tool to change that. The perfect tool is the self-entrainment technique. See, when you die to your former self, which is what you have to do to create a new construct, if you want to go from one state to another, which changes your entire world that you're in, then you must die to the former self. You must have no strings attached to it any longer. The self-entrainment technique is a tool that you can learn at my website, MatthewDavidHurtado.com. It's a workshop. It'll give you a lifetime understanding of how to use your physiology, how to use your attitude, how to change the frequency, how to hold it. See, holding state change is critical. That's to pray without ceasing. See, believing in your heart, if it's fleeting, means nothing. You have to hold the state change, and then what happens is then you die to the former self, and you rise in the new kingdom that you have chosen. See, you are choosing out of mortal fiction. I call it mortal fiction. You are choosing out, and you are emerging as your true self. as the expression in the image and likeness of God, endowed with God's blessings. Then you must stay out. So the tools that you will learn on my website are designed for training purposes. They are designed to train you for peak performance in the realm of the spiritual knowledge that you're going to learn as you apply it. Because only knowledge applied is true learning. You can't just know something without applying it. If you know and you do not act from it, it means you do not know at all. I'll see you at MatthewDavidHurtado.com, and apply this wisdom, and your life will never be the same.
Reprogramming the subconscious means conscious mind, wishes, and desires. Subconscious mind, program. Well, what if you took the wishes and desires and made those programs? Then guess what? You don't even have to think about it. You will automatically, 95% of the day, be playing behaviors to manifest those wishes and desires. If you put a pair of earphones on at night with a program of what you would like to be true in your life, as soon as your conscious mind disconnects, that program is playing. It's not playing into your conscious mind, that's shut off. It's now going straight into the subconscious mind. Having a positive thought does not in any way necessitate that those positive thoughts actually manifest themselves. And there's a piece that was left out. And if you don't understand the piece, then you're shouting into the wind with your positive thoughts. Nothing's going to happen. And the fact is this, when you're having positive thoughts, you're using your mind. The mind influences biology, but there are two parts to the mind that are completely different than one another, yet they work together. We confuse them, we tie them together, and yet they represent two entities working in two different fashions. There's the conscious mind and what is called the subconscious mind. Now, here's what it's very important, people have to know this, okay, and here's what it is. The conscious mind is our creative mind that is connected to our personal identity and our spiritual selves. That makes us all unique. Each of us has our own personal conscious mind. But what becomes very significant is this, is the subconscious mind is equivalent to a tape player. It's exactly what it is. It records experiences and then plays them back. And so now let's take a look and say, well, wait, there's a thinking mind, and then there's a tape player mind. And what's different about them is very profound. When you look at the power between the conscious and subconscious is a million times more powerful. The subconscious mind runs our biology about 95 to 99% of the time. So while you're having all these wonderful thoughts, that's not the conscious mind's not running the show. It's a subconscious mind. So blaming the subconscious mind as a negative thing that's the first mistake. It's a tape player. The programs that we got, that's the source of the problems that most of us face. And these programs could limit our abilities and take away our powers, which essentially they do. Now, the relevance about positive thinking is this. Positive thinking is a creative thought that comes from the conscious mind. Okay, so I sit here and I'm going to have all these wonderful thoughts. I'm going to close my eyes and visualize all these wonderful things. Now stop and go back to the mechanical character of it. I'm having these thoughts with a little tiny processor called the conscious mind, and I'm competing with the programs that are in the subconscious mind. So if I have a thought for being healthy or being in a good relationship, and I'm doing positive thinking, and at the same time I have acquired programs in my development that said you're not as healthy as you think you are, and you're not that good a person to have those kind of relationships, then look, I'm now pitting my positive thoughts against my programs, and they're opposite. But this one works on a little tiny processor, and this processor is a million times more powerful. So right away it's like, who's going to win in that challenge? The answer, of course, the subconscious is going to win. Okay, but here comes the other part. While I can try to maintain positive thoughts in my life using my conscious mind, this conscious mind only operates less than 5% of the day. That says 95% or more of the day, I'm operating from the other belief system. The point is, do the math. How powerful are positive thoughts? And the answer is, unless the subconscious has the same programs and agreement as the conscious mind, power of positive thinking will not work. It will not work because you're competing against a much more powerful processor. So the idea is, when life doesn't work, when you don't find that relationship that your positive thinking was looking for, when you don't get that health that you were looking for because your positive thinking was asking for it, we have a tendency, therefore, to blame the outside world because, as far as I know, my intention was for all these wonderful things. And when I don't get it, it can't be me because I have all these wonderful positive intentions. What we didn't see was, while we were having those positive intentions, using our conscious mind for those positive intentions, the subconscious was running the show. And we didn't see that we generally sabotage and destroy or limit our own lives with behaviors that are not supporting us. Every night when you go to bed, just when you're just falling off into sleep, consciousness is disconnecting. The next period of your brain operation while your consciousness is disconnected is theta, which is the same brain function as in the first 7 years. So if you put a pair of earphones on at night with a program of what you would like to be true in your life, as soon as your conscious mind disconnects, that program is playing. It's not playing into your conscious mind, that's shut off. It's now going straight into the subconscious mind. So it's called auto-hypnosis. You don't need to go see a hypnotherapist. You just have to pick out what program would you like to have that you don't have, and they sell these programs at all kinds of places. Okay. So reprogramming the subconscious with wishes and desires means you don't even have to think about it. You will be successful because 95% of the day, your program automatically will be seeking.
Hi there, I'm Jack Canfield, and today I'd like to discuss the power your unconscious mind has on your everyday life. Now, in order to fully understand the power of your unconscious mind, you first need to understand the difference between your unconscious mind and your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is the awareness you have in the current moment. Examples of this are your awareness of your surroundings, your current thoughts and your current emotions, the physical sensations you're experiencing in your body, whether or not you're hungry, and so on. Your unconscious mind is any information that's below the threshold of your current awareness. Examples of these are memories, beliefs, fears, and subjective maps of reality. And the thing with your unconscious mind is that it's very powerful and can, without your awareness, direct the course of what you do in your life. And because of this, you must learn to choose your thoughts effectively, because your thoughts, both conscious and unconscious, due to the law of attraction, are what are creating your current experience of reality, including your level of success in every area of your life, at work, financially, your relationships, your health, and your happiness. Now, for centuries, most people didn't know the law of attraction even existed until 2006, when a documentary, movie, and book called The Secret was released, which I was featured in along with many other teachers of this powerful law. You see, I've consciously used the law of attraction in my own life to create amazing personal achievements and business successes far beyond what most people ever experience. And the good news is, you can too. Let me give you an example out of my own life. In the 1970s, I was fortunate to be able to meet and work with one of the great pioneers in the teaching of the law of attraction, W. Clement Stone. He was a self-made millionaire worth more than $600 million. And I was hired to work in his foundation and teach his principles of success to school teachers to incorporate into their classrooms. And after a year of working there, he challenged me to set what I call a breakthrough goal. A goal that would quantum leap my success and would require me to stretch and grow in order to achieve it. Now, at the time, I was only making $8,000 a year. Now, that seems like a small amount of money, but in today's dollars, that was about $51,000 a year salary. For example, back then, a gallon of gas was only 36 cents in 1970. Anyway, I set the goal to make $100,000 a year, which would be $640,000 in today's dollars. That's huge. Now, I used everything Mr. Stone had taught me. Affirmations. My affirmation was, God is my infinite supply, and I'm happily earning, investing, and spending $100,000 a year. I used visualization. I drew a replica of a $100,000 bill and put it on my ceiling so I would see it the first thing every morning when I woke up. It would remind me to close my eyes, repeat my affirmation, and visualize having that $100,000 a year lifestyle. So it took about 30 days, and then one morning in the shower, I had my first $100,000 idea. I had a book called 100 Ways to Enhance Self-Concept in the Classroom, and every time it sold, I got a 25 cent royalty. Now, if I could sell 400,000 copies of that book, I would make $100,000. That's a lot of books to sell, but at least it was an idea. It was the first 100,000 idea that ever occurred to me. And then a couple of months later, I had another idea that even took that further. If I was selling the book, if I was a bookstore and I was selling the book, I would make a $3 profit. Now to make $100,000, I'd only have to sell 33,333 books. And so we started a mail order bookstore with one product, my book. And eventually other people said, well, why don't you sell other self-esteem products? So we ended up with a catalog. And then the University of Massachusetts said, we hear you have this catalog of books you're selling. We're having a counselor conference. Could you come over and bring your books and sell them to the counselors? So we set up a bookstore. We made $2,000 profit that weekend. I thought, wow, if I did that every week somewhere, that's a $100,000 a year business. The other thing that happened is I was making $300 a day as a consultant going out and teaching to schools. And a friend of mine and I started talking, and out of the blue I said, Hanoch, what do you make when you sell yourself out for a day? What's your consulting fee? He said, I get $800 a day. I said, $800 a day? How do you do that? He said, I asked for it. So I literally raised my fee to $800 a day. So now I'm tripling my income in terms of that. Well, to make a long story short, at the end of the year, I did not make $100,000. I made $92,325. But we were blown away by that. And then since then I've done that with $1 million. I've done it with selling 1 billion chicken soups around the world, with selling 1 million chicken soup for the Soul Books in one day, getting on the Oprah show. And now we're doing it with our goal of training 1 million teachers and trainers to teach the success principles. Now, interestingly, the key strategies for harnessing the law of attraction in your life are many of the same principles and practices that I write about in my book, The Success Principles. Behaviors like taking 100% responsibility for the outcomes in your life, believing it's possible, repeating affirmations on a daily basis, visualizing your desired results, creating a vision board, acting as if, maintaining a positive expectancy, practicing forgiveness and appreciation, meditating, and developing a positive money consciousness. Because the law of attraction has become so much a part of our culture, let's take a few moments to discover what it is, how it works, and most importantly, how you can use it to create the life and the results you want. Now, stated in its most basic form, the law of attraction simply says, what you think about, talk about, believe strongly about, and feel intensely about, meaning what you focus on, you will bring about in your life. Now, our thoughts have amazing, immense power over our lives. And as such, it's probably a good idea to be intentional about the thoughts you put out there, the thoughts you think, and the words you say out loud. And if you have a specific life or career or financial goals, for instance, why not focus your thoughts on achieving that goal and having that good outcome in your life instead of complaining about all the things you don't want? Now, to focus more easily, I want to share a formula with you that will get the law of attraction working in your life. And the formula, which is discussed in the movie and the book The Secret, is simply this: ask, believe, receive. So let's begin with asking. It's very simple. The key is to focus on and ask for what you want versus thinking about asking for what you don't want. Remember, what you think about, read about, talk about, and give your attention to are thoughts that are actually requests that you're sending out to the universe. So you must start being intentional regarding what you think about all day. Are you immersing yourself in positive, uplifting, joyful thoughts? Do you meditate and hold pictures in your mind of what you want in your life? Or are you frequently criticizing yourself and others, complaining about your life, and focusing on your lack of abundance? You see, feeling excited, enthusiastic, passionate, happy, joyful, loving, appreciative, prosperous, and peaceful are thoughts and feelings that give off positive vibrations. So start intentionally creating the future in your mind, feeling the feelings you'd feel, and then let the universe figure out how to manifest it. I always say, you figure out the what, the universe will figure out the how. Now, after all, it's phenomenally good at aligning the universe. That's what I'm talking about when I say it's phenomenally good at aligning the people, the situations, the money, the resources, and the opportunities necessary to bring about your desired goals. And the next step in this formula is believe. You've got to believe you will get what you want. And then take action. Taking action is actually part of belief. So what does it mean to believe you'll get what you want? It means maintaining a positive expectancy, going about your day, acting as if, with certainty, knowing that you put your futures in a power that is greater than yours and that it will deliver what you want. So always act as if what you want is on its way. It's simply a matter of you deciding with conviction that what you want will absolutely happen. Now, I know this isn't always easy. Many people have limiting beliefs which keep them from allowing abundance and happiness in their lives. And if this describes you, realize that you must first change your limiting beliefs into thoughts that you're deserving, you're worthy, you're lovable, you're desirable, and you're capable, as well as smart enough, strong enough, attractive enough, rich enough, good enough, and enough in all different ways, in every way that you can think about that matters to you. Of course, once you believe that you'll get what you want, the second part of the belief stage is to take action. Taking actions that would create your desired result affirms your belief that what you want is within reach. After all, you wouldn't be taking action if you didn't expect the future situation to show up, would you? So your taking action is actually a demonstration of your belief to the universe. And the final step in the ask, believe, receive formula is to receive what you want by becoming a vibrational match for it. Now, what do we mean by vibrational match? It's that you, me, and everyone on the planet is like an individual radio station that's broadcasting on a specific frequency. If you want to listen to jazz, you have to tune your dial to a station that broadcasts jazz, not one that plays hip hop or country. And likewise, if you want more abundance and prosperity in your life, you have to tune the frequency of your thoughts, your radio station, what you're generating out to the world, and your feelings to ones of abundance and prosperity. And the easiest way to become a vibrational match for what you want is to focus on creating positive emotions of love, joy, appreciation, and gratitude throughout the day. And you can also practice feeling those specific emotions you'll be experiencing if you already had what you want. For example, thinking you don't have enough money to pay your mortgage will create negative feelings of fear and hopelessness, even guilt and shame for not being able to provide for your family. Instead of giving energy to these negative thoughts, shift your thinking to positive ones such as, I will find a way, or the money will show up on time, and visualize yourself easily paying the mortgage on time. At first, this process may seem very foreign to you, but the truth is you can, over time, learn to choose only uplifting, inspiring, motivational, and empowering thoughts. Trust me, it's simply a habit that with intention and discipline can be developed. For instance, whenever a negative thought appears, you could just say, cancel, cancel. You're canceling that thought. Like you're saying to your subconscious, cancel, cancel, don't listen to that. And then replace it with a positive thought. Make sure you make this your daily discipline. And over time, combine with affirmations, visualization, meditation, reading uplifting, positive self-help books and biographies, listening to positive CDs and seminars on YouTube, and practicing releasing techniques like EFT tapping and the work developed by Byron Katie, you can totally retrain your mind to only focus on the positive aspects of everything. So for your homework today, I want you to think of something you want to create or bring into your life and simply apply the ask, believe, receive formula. Leave a comment below letting us know what you're going to manifest into your life using the law of attraction. We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and remember, nothing will change for the better until you do. Now, if you found this video helpful, please make sure you like it, share it with a friend who may need it, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. And for some additional resources on how to use the law of attraction to get what you want, visit my website at jackcanfield.com.
Now that we have access to all the ancient documents that teach us about the laws of vibration, and now that we can describe these ancient teachings with our modern day quantum physics, mathematics, and science, we can scientifically figure out how to raise the vibration of the human body, raise our level of consciousness, and use these laws more efficiently. Let's start by elaborating on the 7 energy centers that our human bodies were designed with. These energy centers are often referred to as chakras, which in Sanskrit, the word means wheel. The chakras are vortexes of energy and sometimes also called the wheels of life. The human body has thousands and thousands of places in which energy flows. However, there are 7 major energy points on the human body that draw in and send out energy. This energy is called different things depending on the culture. The Chinese call it qi energy. In Hindu philosophy like yoga, meditation, medicine, and martial arts, the energy is referred to as prana. Here in North America, the energy has been called ether, 0-point energy, or life energy. The energy is not produced by the human body itself, rather, it flows through the human body. Your body and these 7 energy centers that run up and down your spinal cord are like an antenna that can pick up this energy and utilize it here in the 3-dimensional earth plane. Prana, chi, ether, and life energy is also the same energy of your consciousness. Your consciousness is an energy signal, a frequency being picked up by your human body antenna. Your body and your 7 energy centers are like gateways to consciousness. These 7 energy centers are associated with different emotions, colors, abilities, and celestial bodies. Blockage of a certain energy center can also lead to illness, depression, fear, stress, emotional imbalances, lack of self-confidence, anxiety, and inefficient manifestation. The first energy center is called the root chakra, or the base chakra. It is located at the spine and the tailbone. This chakra is associated with your legs, bones, feet, intestine, and adrenal glands. It controls your fight or flight response. Our root chakra is affected by survival issues such as money, food, and your basic primal instincts. It is associated with the color red and the planet Saturn. The second energy center is called the sacral chakra, located 2 inches inside your lower abdomen and 2 inches below your navel. This one deals with connection, new experiences, accepting others, sense of abundance, pleasure, and sexuality. Its color is orange and is associated with the celestial body of Jupiter. Also associated with your lower abdomen, kidneys, bladder, circulatory system, and reproductive organs and glands. Third, we have the solar plexus chakra, which is associated with the planet Mars and the color yellow. It governs your digestive system and your muscles, located in the upper abdomen. This chakra is correlated to self-confidence and control. Number 4 is the heart chakra, which has to do with the ability to love. It is located in the center of the chest. Its color is green, and celestial body is the sun. People fall in love through the heart chakra. This energy of love will then move through the solar plexus and into the chakras associated with sexuality, where strong energies and attraction can be released. The throat chakra is number 5. Its color is turquoise. It has to do with communication, creativity, self-expression of feelings, and truth. It is associated with the neck, shoulders, thyroid, and parathyroid glands. Its celestial body is Venus. Next is the third eye chakra, aka the pineal gland, as we call it here in North America, and referred to by the ancient Egyptians as the seat of the soul, located in the forehead, in between your eyes. Associated with the planet Mercury, the color is blue, and it has to do with intuition, wisdom, and imagination. It is theorized that the pineal gland, or the third eye chakra, is the means by which the consciousness incarnates into the human body. In symbolism, we see the third eye is often represented by a pine cone, and we can see this symbolism all throughout history in ancient Egypt, Sumeria, and even in the present-day Vatican. Number 7 is the crown chakra, the highest chakra representing your fullest connection to the creator of all and spirituality. The chakra of purpose and destiny, located at the top of your head and correlated to the cerebral cortex, central nervous system, and pituitary gland. Its color is purple, and its celestial body is the moon. By practicing various methods of opening up these energy centers, one can potentially allow more energy to flow through their body. There are many different ways people do this, such as yoga, martial arts, breathing techniques, crystals, binaural sounds, diet, and even the use of psychedelic substances, which act as neurotransmitters in your brain, allowing your third eye to open and access energies and frequencies not normally attainable in your typical awake, everyday life state of mind. Most people spend their entire life stuck in their lower chakras, but people who learn about this technology can apply this knowledge to fully open up all 7 energy centers. When one has achieved activation of all 7 energy centers, they are said to have awoken what's called the Kundalini, which in Sanskrit means coiled, like a snake. People have this energy coiled up inside of them waiting to be released. Our creators designed us with this human antenna body and with this energy technology so that we may evolve consciously during our human incarnations. We can see the symbolism still to this day of the coiled up snake in symbols such as the caduceus, which is widely used and misunderstood in today's Western medical community. This knowledge has been encoded through symbolism and passed down through generations. It has been removed from the North American public education system and widely suppressed by the powers that be. However, thanks to the decentralization of data, we can now access the abundance of knowledge pertaining to the way humans were created, who created us, why we were created, and where we could potentially be heading as a species. This video has barely scratched the surface of this topic. If you're interested in learning more about these topics, I highly recommend you read the following books. The Finding of the Third Eye by Vera Stanley Alder. The Seventh Planet, Mercury Rising by Gerald Clark. The Anunnaki of Nibiru, Mankind's Forgotten Creators, Enslavers, Destroyers, Saviors, and Hidden Architect of the New World Order, also by Gerald Clark. The Illusion of Us by Matthew LaCroix. And The Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean, translated by Doriel.
Hi everybody, Dr. Joe Dispenza here. I want to take a moment and teach you some basic tools to begin to change your life. When you invest in yourself, you invest in your future. Number 1, take some time out of your busy lives to disconnect from your world. Shut your cell phone off, turn the TV off, power down your computer, sit your body down for a few minutes and close your eyes. Number 1. Number 2, take some breaths and center yourself. When you center your attention into the present moment, you have more energy to create with. When your mind wanders to the predictable future or the familiar past, that's normal. Just become aware of it and keep working on settling yourself back down into the present moment. When you're in the present moment, you're the most creative. Number 3, ask yourself, can I be defined by a vision of the future instead of the memories of the past? What do I want in my life? And take the time to answer the question. As you begin to contemplate and think about the answer to the question, you're changing your brain. When you make your brain fire in new sequences and new patterns and new combinations, that's the beginning steps of changing your mind. Next, decide on the emotions you'll feel when you begin to create that future. And teach your body emotionally what that future is going to feel like. And don't get up until you begin to feel those emotions. Next step, step number 4, rehearse in your mind who you're going to be when you open your eyes. The things you have to do, the choices you have to make, the steps you have to take, and review them over and over again. Number 5, you can't go to the future holding on to the biology of your past. Decide what thoughts you can bring to your future. Write them down. Thoughts like, I can't, it's too hard, I'll never change, I'll start tomorrow, what's wrong with me, it's someone else's fault. Decide on what behaviors or actions or unconscious habits you have to change. How do you talk? Do you complain? Do you blame? Do you make excuses? Do you feel sorry for yourself? Just become so conscious of those behaviors that you'll never go unconscious again. And lastly, you have to decide what emotions no longer belong in your future. That means if you want to be wealthy, you can't take lack. If you want to be healthy, you can't take insecurity or fear. You got to begin to condition your body to a new mind. If you do this every single day, your personality creates your personal reality. And your personality is made up of how you think, how you act, and how you feel. Change any one of those things and you change your life. and begin to measure the effects of you at cause. Give it a shot.